tank is only about 4 years old and already had to replace one element, has some issues. We're going to drain the tank, we're going to replace that pop-off valve, and we're going to try to remove some of that scale. So the first thing that I did was turned off the power to the hot water heater from the breaker. Now I'm going to be turning off the water line, the supply line, and then draining the water out of the tank. I attached this scrap piece of garden hose here to that drain, and I just have it running down here to the washing machine, so that hot water is just going to drain into here. And now I'm just going to take a screwdriver and pop open, hopefully easily pop open this drain valve here. Hopefully. And there's a sound there. So the water is starting to drain out very slowly. I'm just going to open it wide up. And we can hear it draining, but it is draining very slow. So I was told that there was approximately 4 inches of sediment built up inside the tank here. I find that a little bit hard to believe. I'm hoping that it's not quite that corroded. It's only been 4 years. It's hard to believe that there's that much calcium or limescale, whatever it's called, that would be inside of this tank. But we will find out. I was able to improve the flow significantly by turning on the hot water side of the kitchen faucet. This allows air to enter into the water heater. I also opened the pressure release valve once the water level in the tank dropped below that level. And yeah, I say pop-off valve way too much, but it's the same as the pressure relief valve or T&P valve. I removed the old valve with a monkey wrench, a funny name for a tool, and I'm going to take the old valve with me to the store because these things come in a few different sizes. I'm back from Lowe's, picked up this new pop-off valve, and I added the fitting that was on the old pop-off valve so that I could attach that hose that's going to run down behind the washing machine and into that drain. Another thing that I picked up was this bottle of CLR. Now I don't know if this is recommended per se, but I want to see if I can try to remove as much of that lime scale as possible. And I flushed the tank out a few times by opening up the cold water valve, letting the water rush into the water heater, and then drained it out. I did that several times. So the water heater is completely empty now, and I have this flexible funnel here with this hose that I'm going to stick up into that pop-off valve hole before I put the new one on. I'm going to put the CLR in there, let it soak in there for 15 minutes or so, and then I'm going to flush it out again real good, fill it up with water, let it drain, and my hope is that it will drain much more quickly. I should have pointed out earlier that the reason why I'm doing this is because this little water heater here is $500 new, and I'm hoping that I don't have to replace the water heater. Like I said earlier, it's only 4 years old, and the reason why it's $500 is because it's so small, it's compact. It's one of these space saver water heaters for this house, and it's only 38 gallons. It's expensive for the size, but it's ideal for this property, which is only a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and only one person lives in this house right now. While that CLR is doing its thing down at the bottom of the water heater, I'm going to go ahead and install this new valve. And it came with a little bit of Teflon tape on the threads here, but I added some additional. And so let's get that installed now. About 30 minutes have passed since we poured that CLR into the pressure relief valve opening. We replaced the pressure relief valve, Now we're going to fill the tank with water and let that CLR dissolve and then drain it, flush it out, and then hopefully we'll see a lot of sediment come out and we will be able to refill the hot water heater and maintenance will be over for this year. I turned the water to the house back on, which is under the sink here in the kitchen. And then I let the water heater fill up. I don't know how full, but I only let it fill up for maybe about 2 or 3 minutes. And then I let it sit there for a couple minutes and then open the valve back up and it's pouring into this bucket. So hopefully a lot of that CLR mixed up in there and it's draining out now. I could kind of see, it's probably hard to see in there, but it is sudsy, so a lot of that stuff is coming out. It's been rinsed and now it's coming out. Last thing to point out, if you're using CLR, maybe it wasn't the best choice of product to use because it gets sudsy and stays in the system for a little while. So I've been flushing this out for probably at least a half an hour, just filling up the tank, letting it fully drain out, just trying to get all the suds out of here that I can. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.